We're halfway through the week, and let's check in with Burlington's Mayor, Marianne Meed Ward, to see what the city is up to. Good via Skype. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Yes. So one of our big stories this week, the village of Tansley Woods has had an outbreak. Certainly, this underscores this pandemic. I mean, Tansley Woods is actually noted for being on top of the protocols even before government guidance. They were really there. Through the first wave, but here we are. Anyways, they have an outbreak there. Now, this is, of course, regulated provincially, but is the city working with Tansley, the village of Tansley Woods?
Well, certainly our Halton Region Public Health Unit has been working very closely with the long-term care, all of the long-term care facilities in Burlington and in all of Halton. And, what happened is tragic. We know that there have been deaths in long-term care facilities, just a horrible situation, and our heart goes out to the families that are there. It just shows this virus is sneaky, it's prevalent, and people have to be really, really diligent. Burlington's done really well in keeping our infection rates low, but obviously not well enough, and this is what has happened. So keep masking up, following proper hand hygiene, and of course staying 6 feet away at minimum from anybody you don't live with.
And stuff to keep in mind as we approach Halloween and Thanksgiving particularly.
Absolutely. The provincial suggestion is that you only celebrate Thanksgiving this year with people that you live with. The provincial rules limit any indoor gathering in a private home to 10, but you've got to stay 6 feet away from anybody you don't live with, even in your own home. And I think that's where there's been some challenges, that people feel they've let their guard down and, well, it's my mom who lives across town, or my grandma, I can certainly give her a hug. Well, you can't if you don't live together, and that's, stay 6 feet away from anybody who isn't in your immediate household. And by that, it's people you live with. Halloween is going to be different this year, like so many other things. And our medical officer of health has provided some guidelines for folks who want to celebrate. Virtual is certainly suggested. Decorating your home so people can walk by and enjoy them. And there's some other suggestions. You can find that on my Facebook page.
Right. At least it's outside.
And other places.
Yeah, at least a lot of it's outside, and there are masks, but we need the proper masks as well. I want to talk about the Redress art installation, a powerful art installation at Spencer Smith. I know that you were there, and it's on until Friday, the promenade.
It is. It is an absolutely powerful, haunting art installation. It is red dresses hung in the trees at Spencer Smith Park. There are close to 60 red dresses, and they're empty. They're just the dresses, and they symbolize the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls and two-spirited Indigenous people that we've lost. And the report that was done identified that there could be thousands of Indigenous women and girls who've gone missing over the past few decades. And that's heartbreaking, tragic, unacceptable. And so this installation was done by a Burlington resident who was part of the 60s scoop. She told her story on Saturday. It was searing and heartbreaking, powerful. She came forward and asked the city if she could do this. And these types of installations.
Yeah, that's Amber Ruthart?
Amber Ruthart, yes.
Yeah,
and she's
Ruthart. And Jamie Black was the original artist. Also, at the
Absolutely.
Beginning of the promenade, the Leslie Mahaffey bench. So there was that was also acknowledged as well. A red and white dress.
A different dress to signify Leslie Mahaffey, who of course was murdered in 1991. Terrible, tragic loss of one of our sisters here in Burlington.
Yeah. Another tragedy, of course, experienced in Burlington recently with the animal protests with the Fearman's Plan. And the city is actually asking the province to toughen up on rules regarding animal protests.
The province has already introduced legislation, Bill 156, that would prevent protesters from interacting with moving vehicles that are transporting livestock. And that section of the legislation has already been enacted. So what Burlington has asked the province to do is enact a second piece of the legislation, which would also prevent interacting from animals while a transport vehicle is stopped. And that's what we've seen That's what we've seen happen is protesters standing on the median while the truck is stopped at a red light interacting with the animals. It's extraordinarily dangerous for them. The driver can't see them, and if somebody slips off the median, they're into live lanes of traffic. So we've asked the province to also bring that piece forward immediately. And then the balance of the legislation will go through the usual review process.
Okay.
So that was a resolution that we sent to the province last week.
Okay. Well, as usual, we run out of time, but we'll check in with you again next week. We appreciate your weekly visits. Burlington Mayor Marianne Meed Ward, thank you.